Ganbatte kudasai! Let's go.
Alright, everyone. We've got Impossible Spell card here. I am pinkpajamas. I'm here to do the commentary for this game. And Miss Matani, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay. Hello everyone. I'm Miss Metane. As a speedrunner, I usually play classic games such as this, but I'm also a fan of Touhou project. I'm very grateful for the opportunity to present a game of Touhou project on the GDQ. The no items category of impossible spell card that going to play now is very difficult and require a lot of luck. There is a possibility that may not be able to finish the whole scene within the time limit, but I will do our best to play it. Okay.
All right. So I think with that, we should be ready to start. So we'll do a countdown real quick of 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So this is we'll call it official game of the Touhou series. And there are a series of shmups or bullet hell games, or danmaku as it's called in Japanese, with a bit of an emphasis on looking pretty while being difficult. Normally, shmups are auto-scrollers outside of the boss attacks, so featuring the games aren't going to be all that intriguing. However, there are a few games like this one that are scene-based, which means that you play the boss attacks, or spell cards as they're called in Touhou, at individual stages that can be selected in any order. So the gimmick to this game is that you have these cheat items that you can use to make things easier, such as like phasing out for a bit or bombing bullets in an area and warping around. Because you're using these cheat items, the bullet patterns are done in a pretty unreasonable way. Unreasonable to the point that it's meant to be impossible without these cheat items, but still technically possible. So let me explain some of the basics of the game. The hitboxes on the bullets and the character are actually smaller than they appear, which means that a line of bullets that they look like can't actually be squeezed, or a line of bullets that look like they can't actually be squeezed through, you actually can squeeze through them. Generally, the white part of the bullet is the actual hitbox, and the character hitbox you can see as a white dot on the character when you're doing something called focus movement, which is where you intentionally slow down to control your movement better. So right now we're on the first day. There's 10 days, and we want to first complete the 4 scenes on the first day. This one is a very aptly named spell card called School of Fishes. I think it looks pretty cool. Yeah, so we need to make sure that we're under the boss so that our attacks can actually hit. And then once we've completed the 4 scenes of day 1, we can unlock game 2, and this is where we kind of see more of the gimmicky spell cards. So here we have a Kyoko with a spell card called Primal Scream, and then you have these walls that only affect bullets, which makes patterns that are a bit tricky to read, but it's a completely fixed pattern. So it's once you have it memorized, it's not that difficult to do. And right now you can see Natane is going close to the boss as much as possible, and that's to get as many hits in as possible. And sometimes you want to do like a slight tilt. Okay, so this spell card here is called Extreme Long Neck. And essentially we're playing Snake with Sticky Bonky's head. And we need to move in a way that is maximizing the time that we're under her, so we can get as many attacks as possible. And we got this in basically one cycle. The attack pattern is completely based on how you move, and there's no random clicks. So now we have a 2-3 called Piercing Circle, And this time, Kyoko has the strange wall surrounding us, which changes the movement of any bullets the walls hits. The pattern is completely fixed based off of your movement, but the boss kind of floats off to a random direction. And to maximize the damage, you want to move with her, so you're not actually doing the same thing every time. And it is pretty difficult to do. Like, at the very start of the spell card, it's easy, but then getting that last bit is pretty tough. Okay, so now we are going to fight Sekibonki again. And instead of playing Snake, we're going to play Jed's Ball instead. With two overheads. The heads arc towards you, but the lines have a little bit of random curviness to it, which means you can't always play the same way. And when the lines are disappearing, the curviness extends out, which can hit you, but looks like Misume got it pretty well. Okay, so normally you want to be under a boss to shoot them, but your bolts can actually spawn slightly under you, so if you're just barely on top of the boss, you can still hit them. That's important here because the bolts are targeted in such a way that the only gap is on the opposite side of you. So we are at the very top and the gap is on the bottom, and now we go to the bottom and the gap is on the top. Alright, so when we clear this, you should hear this weird sound effect quite a few times. This whenever you complete a scene with an item equipped, you essentially gain EXP with that item to make it level up. If you clear a scene using no items, it becomes the same thing as clearing the scene with every item. So all of our items are going to level up very quickly because we're not using them, and that's what that sound is. Another thing to note is that a no item clear of a scene has this little red dot in the center of the sort of star-like graphic, which shows which items were used to clear it. And doing that on all of the scenes gives you an achievement called the Ultimate Cheating Life Form, which is what the goal of the category is. And the name is kind of ironic because you're specifically not using these cheaty items. And we have these two spell cards here, which are more or less just normal dodging, but it is really hard to do if you're not an expert or god like Misume. Well done. Alright, here we have Mukul with Firebird Legend of Immortality. This scene's where we see Mukul, who is modeled after a phoenix, and as such, her spell cards reflect that. The bullets here slowly get more and more dense, and when you defeat Mukul, the screen is cleared, but instead of clearing the spell card, she then revives and throws some super fast bullets at you, like we're going to do right now. And then during that resurrection, the timer is stopped, and the way to clear the spell card is actually to run out the timer. And what you saw is that Misume actually attacked Mukul down to like one little bit of HP left, and then stop attacking just to make sure you can get that last clear in. And he's doing it again to see if he needs to clear it again. He did not. He's doing good. Alright, so these next three spell cards are kind of actually easy to do without items. Some of them are kind of easy, but this one you need to make sure you get the positioning right. And we're doing this Misume is doing this in a more difficult way because we want to be closer to Yoshika. So we can maximize the damage. There's actually a way to do this where you can sit in a sweet spot, but that's slow, and we don't want to do that. And then you have this spell card with Sega called Wall Run. This is also kind of easy, but it has a really cool gimmick where the bullet walls close in from the sides and go in until the position of where you're standing when the walls spawn. Once you remember the pattern of like right, left, right, left, and so on, it's actually kind of an easy clear, although that was pretty close. Got a whole bunch of item level ups again. Alright, 4-6, we have Yuyuko with a lovely Cherry Blossom Blizzard. Also, it is kind of relatively easy. if you're sort of new to shmups, it looks really hard. The weaving Sakura petals have this kind of pattern where the safe area slowly descends. But like once you see that pattern, it's like it clicks in your head. It's really cool. All right, so Sega, this is Sega again with the wall phasing wormhole. This spell card is actually pretty unique. Sega will move towards you and periodically shoot bullets, and then with every fourth wave being these large spread of bullets. If she would move off of the screen, she'll instead wormhole to the other side. The difficulty here is that you need to stay under her in order to do damage, which makes it hard to dodge the bullets. And then but if you get the pattern where the large spread happens right after the vertical wormhole, that's like the strategy. All right, so going into day 5, we get these the last set of TD items, and the default equipped one is the Jizo doll. You can see the items on the bottom right, and the Jizo doll is essentially extra lives. So you're expected to beat the scene with attrition and only getting hit when you make a reading mistake. But if you're still good at the game, you won't even need the Jizo item to make it a no item clear. And we actually won't unequip the Jizo doll when we do get hit, so we have to naturally reset scene for a no item clear. We have a 5-6 with Ben using a spell card called Scoreway. And the spot in front of Ben is this sort of safe spot. So you only need to worry about her running into her. When the boss floats around, the movement is actually kind of random. It's sort of this semi-random thing where about 2/3 of the time they'll move towards you instead of away from you, with like left right will be about 2/3 horizontally towards you. And then here we have 5-7 with Raiko, a spell called Fantastic Woofer. The bullets spawn in a circle in such a way that you can be in the circle as a safe spot. So this one also has this kind of safe spot there. We have 5-8 with Ben and Yatsuhachi with a spell card called Song of the Falling Stars. These are the Tsukumo sisters, and they're kind of this music-themed characters, and you need to defeat both of them. Defeating one of them makes it easier, but they're both, but it's still really hard to do. The bullets don't actually have these pointed ends, so it's kind of hard to read where the direction is going. And the bullets are relatively big compared to a lot of the other bullets. It's the only real double boss of the game. Anyway. Okay. So going into the 6th day, is a very important point in the run because you get access to these sub-items. The current auto-equipped sub-item is the Yin Yang Orb, which gives you a passive effect where your hitbox size is decreased, or at least it's supposed to be decreased, but it doesn't actually work. Like, you can see on this focus movement that the hitbox is smaller, but it doesn't actually work. The sub-items actually give you a different or weaker effect of the main item when you equip them. So now you might think that using a sub-item would count as an item, but it only doesn't count if it provides a passive effect. And out of all the sub-items, only 3 of them give a passive effect. We have the Yin Yang Orb, which was mentioned before, the camera, which increases your movement speed, and then you have the decoy doll, which is what we have equipped here, which turns your normal 4-shot into a spread 8-shot with extra bullets. I kind of like to think of this as you learned how to dual-wield your shots. And the spread shot from the decoy doll is a huge game changer. Not only is it easier to hit bosses when you're far away, but when you're in certain spots while you're close, you can get 5 hits in compared to the original. But most importantly, when you're directly above the boss, all 8 of the shots hit, which ends up being a 1.5 times damage increase. You get a little bit of diminishing returns with the extra hits, which is why it's 1.5 instead of 2 times. So it's kind of this face shooting things. And then 6-4 here, Nitori with Kyoraito Falls. Here's where you can really see how effective this strategy is. Some these, when you're shooting above them, call it face shooting. Essentially, when the upper part of the screen is safer than the lower part, as is with this build card, the danger ends up being the shifty movement of the bosses that they periodically take, and they can move up and down. And a collision is a death. Okay, so here we have 6-5, Luigi with Turing Satisfaction. One of it's like the top 10 in terms of difficulty with no item clearing. It is super hard because it is super luck-based. The sort of biting bullets and the lasers that come afterwards are just so random and too fast to react to that we just kind of have to rely on luck. And we need to survive like 3 of these bites. The strategy is to just go to the very right and hope that you don't die. All right. Might take a little while, so we might have a little bit of time for donations once Musume actually finishes this boss. You know, he's really not getting very good luck. Although this one might work. Let's see. That's the first bite. Second bite, okay. One more. Screw up. Ooh. Well done, we got past. That is so hard to do. Here we have Nitori with the Kegon gun, it's called. When she shoots those bullets, they go... When it hits the screen, there's this huge spread that happens, and you need to make sure that it's really fast. These bullets are just really fast, so you need to really be on your toes. And in the speedrun, you want to be on top of Nitori as much as possible. Can make it tricky, but it's just tricky in general. It looks like he's trying to play it really fast by staying on top of her as long as possible. Do we have it? And you can see right after the boss dies, they actually float in a random direction. So once you hear that death sound, you're moving away from them because that little extra movement can actually hit you, and you don't get a scene clear. Anyway, this is Hatate with with paparazzi. She has this sort of smartphone camera, and if you get a shot by the camera, you die because it's apparently getting your picture taken is just too embarrassing. Too embarrassing to live in this world. And here we have instant shot journalist with Aya. If you get close to her, she uses the camera. Here we just want to go back and forth, making sure that we get this correctly. If you're really high up, she takes a lot of vertical movement, which makes it a little slow to beat, but we got it. Anyway, the astute among you may have noticed that we did not complete every scene in days 1 through 5, and selected only the minimum amount to progress. That's because we wanted the decoy doll spread shot to help us flow the harder scenes that we skipped, which is this one. This is also like top 10 in terms of difficulty. The fact that it's on day 5 is kind of crazy. So here we have some STG concepts, shmup concepts going on here, where you have like misdirection and streaming, but these are like really big arrow bullets that we're trying to stream and misdirect. So what we want to do is we would like to stay under her as much as possible. So we're being really slow while under her, and then when we really need to start dodging, we're going to move to the right side of the screen, or the left side of the screen, the other side of the screen, as quickly as possible, so that we can get an easier way to a larger gap in between the bullets. And then the streaming is where you want to move as little as possible in order to still dodge the bullets. It's not, I don't know if you can really quite call this streaming, but that's kind of also the concept here. And what makes this even harder than it looks is, well, because the boss can move more to one side of the screen than the other, and if you're trying to dodge the bullets when she's more on one side of the screen, they actually get a lot thicker. Yeah, this spell card is insane. Another thing that I never mentioned is that like with a bunch of these Touhou games, is at the very bottom you can see like this little red light, and that indicates where the boss is. So you don't have to be constantly looking up to. You don't have to be looking up to figure out where the boss is if you're at the bottom of the screen. So you can still focus on dodging while knowing where the boss is. It's pretty convenient. Yeah, this is what this category is. Just things can go real wrong on these really hard spell cards. Like, there is quite a bit of luck involved here, but there's also an incredible amount of skill. And Misume died there as the boss moved, and so we're trying to maximize the amount of damage onto her. And again, we got unlucky there because she was really close towards the side of the screen.
The pajamas, if it's cool, is it okay if I cut in with a quick donation here?
Go ahead.
I appreciate that. We got $25 from Scylla Forest, saying, had to donate during the game that got me into Touhou, putting this towards N++ hard, and Yuma is the best Touhou. You got goals there. I just want to appraise everybody on the situation on that hard level showcase for N++ coming up in a few hours. Currently at $3,465 out of the $7,500 needed. Y'all are doing great, but let's keep on pushing for that. I want to see those donations coming in towards N++, and more importantly, relevant to y'all's interests. I want to read your donations coming in for N++, so everybody keep it going. Back to you.
All right, thank you. It's like still a bit of a struggle here. Yeah, we got another unlucky break there because Yatsuhashi was on the side of the screen, which made it really hard to get a dodge in. Yeah, and you can also do a slight bit of manipulation with where she is. If she's gonna drift off to the side, you want to like slightly be on the slide you want her to drift to, like relatively to the side you want her to drift to, because again, she there's a 2/3 chance that she'll drift towards the direction you're at. So you can do this sort of pseudo manipulation, but again, it's not fully consistent. Can't get a good lucky break here.
Now Misune has got this. I got a $25 donation from Pickpacker saying I can't just not donate for my favorite game series. Now, can I? Thank you so much for that generosity.
Punching real hard right now. Ooh. Oh. Sometimes those no bullets, you can forget that they're there and dodge those as well. And you can't even read the direction that they're going at because they're not pointed. The notes aren't actually pointed. They just add even more difficulty to them. And like the insane amount of stamina you need to do this is crazy. And the stamina and the concentration. And there's still a lot more to go.
No, this is an absolute display of focus and skill, and we are all here for it. We have Buddy with a $50 donation, simply standing by what they see saying, "Let's go!" And yell in chat, yeah, if you are quite stymied by what you're seeing, I can see chat popping off from time to time. If you just want to just put your elbows on the keyboard and just elbow roll the keyboard while you have your head in your hands, just being astounded by what you're seeing, go ahead and put that in your donation comment and put it towards N++. It might be read. I'm just saying. There's a chance. Let's get that incredulity $5 train going for N++, everybody. We can do this. Thank you.
Right there, he tried to stay to the left a little bit longer than it's comfortable to try and get her to stay in the center, but it didn't work. Sometimes you hit this wall and it's so hard to dodge. Oh, we got one going. And we're still only at half health. And at the very beginning, we actually get a big burst of damage in. Again, those notes, you can't see the direction they're going. You're so focused on those arrows. He's trying to stay a little bit more to the right as much as possible to get her to move to make dodge. Oh no!
Oh no.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, one or two more. It's those notes. They get in your way when you least expect it.
Now the notes, they're completely RNG, right? Are they deterministic or are they based on inputs?
They're completely RNG.
Holy moly.
Like, yeah, where the arc that they're going and where they spawn from. Yeah, and like the speed of the arrows is random. And also kind of the spread as well. This is very luck based, but it is at the same time incredibly skilled. Got another run going. Okay, she went left a little bit. Got through. Come on, go left. Go left. No? Okay. Almost down. Oh! Fine. Well done. Okay, so actually need to do some talk about some of these things again. Alright, now we're at 5 through the Ben with her euphoric Biwa. There's a safe spot with the patterns. It looks kind of weird how you need to be below the center of that circle. But it's actually not consistent because sometimes the boss can move into where that safe spot is. So that's kind of funny. Hey, we have Taiko here with Din Din Daiko of Rage. And this is where you really want the spread shot because you can destroy the drums way quicker, and then all of these extra bullets just disappear. I've tried this without the spread shot, and it is like you can barely beat the taiko drums before those big bullets will come to you. But then if you do that to both taiko drums, you just don't have enough shots to beat her, and you end up timing out. We have Yatsuhashi with what I would call Human and Koto Die Together. And this is just regularly difficult. Because you need to kind of wait for those, like it's really hard to read those sort of curved bullets. And like read the gap in between them. Okay, so now we're going back to day one, which is where we're supposed to be back to the easy spell cards, but this one right here is still a bit tricky. The strategy here is to just maximize damage as much as possible at the very beginning, because the last wave, this is called Tidal Wave of the Lake, and the boss is called Wakasagi Hime. And the very last wave here is just too inconsistent dodge, so we would like to have her beaten by then, but couldn't do it this time. And here is where the luck aspect is involved.
Well, if I may, Pajamas, there is lots of encouragement coming in for the chat. We have $27 graciously donated to MSF by Singularity. They say, you can do it, Misume. And also N++ is the one game I actually got world records in. Week 1 Celeste doesn't count, so yeah, no, I gotta pull for those hard levels. We are currently sitting at $4,182, that's $500 to get it unlocked. Y'all are showing up for the showcase, so please keep it up. Thank you.
Alright, we have a 1-5 with Chirno, a spell card called Frost King. You can destroy the crystals or find this sort of random sweet spot to make it easy, but a great speedrunner like Misume will just jump through the gaps in those ice bullets just to save a little bit of time. And like the fact that you can dodge bullets, they're so fast like that. It's so insane. And not only that, he's doing this in terms of a speed run, which you have to have lots of guts to be able to do that, and a lot of focus and stamina. Okay, here we have Sekibunki with a Hell's Ray, and this is also just playing hard, period. And this is another one where you kind of need this spread shot in order to make it realistically possible. We just destroy her heads there. And then we have Infinite Nyonpo here with Kyoko. This is where you really see the shmup concept of streaming, where you're like moving as little as possible to dodge the bullets that are targeted right at you. We're doing a little bit of misdirection where we're making this gap, like we're doing on the top of the screen there. So that we can, so even though we're trying to, like when we're streaming, we get this line of bullets that are easy to dodge, but once you're cornered in, you need to find some way to get out. So you need to quickly juke to the other side. Gotta do another juke, maybe? Get lucky, maybe? Oh my goodness. Holy cow.
Oh.
I've never seen that. That was cool. Alright, here we have some simple dodging, and we backtrack to this because we like the spread aspect of spread dodge, of the spread shot, instead of just the regular increased damage aspect of it. That's called Full Moon Roar by Touhou. And here we have Penne with 20xDX and Afterlife Odyssey. And this is so satisfying to play. Like when you play this on your first playthrough, it is. You'll like try to do this strategy, and it's so good to dodge the patterns. Alright, here we have Mokol with Immortal Reckless Sacrifice. Remember the Phoenix? So she's like throwing herself to like self-destruct herself onto you, and self-destructs on the end of the screen. The giant explosion there gets bigger and bigger as it goes on. The actual dangerous part are these bullets that appear at the edge of it, because it can appear right where you are, so you need to like wait a little bit right after the explosion ends to make sure that you're not running into a bullet that just barely spawns. Alright, we have Yuko here with just regular Danmaku, or regular bullets, and see these red bullets that she shoots out that just stop there, and then you have the butterfly bullets there. And that circle there is the full hitbox. It's normally in these games, the hitboxes are smaller than they seem, but not with these. And the butterfly bullets, they do technically have a direction to them, but it's so faint that you can't really see them. And this one, super quick, because the way it's supposed to work is that Yoshikaga there is the meat shield, and Sega's the actual target. But if you just face shoot Sega down before anything starts, you just win. Okay, so now here we're at another really difficult one. Another really top 10 difficult. We have these butterfly bullets that are really dense. And it is just really hard to read, and there's quite a bit of randomness to it. And again, you can technically see a direction to the bullets, but it's really faint, And when there are enough of them stacked together, you basically can't see it. And that was very well done. Getting it like, what, third try there? That was very good.
Wow.
Okay, now the backtrack is done. We're going to day set. Here we have Marisa with the Wide Master Spark. And these Master Sparks are targeted to you, but you can't really see that here because the moment that she targets actually has a huge delay to it. Alright, we have 7-2, Sakuya. We have the Time Stopper Sakuya. You actually want to stay close to her, like somewhat close to her so she doesn't move too much. And also you're just getting extra damage. And also if she moves a little too much, she'll actually spawn the bullets into you, which sucks. Oh, almost there? Okay, you really did not want to have one more wave happen when you're in the corner there. But Misume, let's go. And so here we have like these really cool sort of these spell card patterns where you're not just at the bottom of the screen trying to dodge all of the patterns, but here you're in the center. And like you have things like that where you're spinning around just because that's what you need to do. And getting those emergent patterns when you're dodging is just a lot more fun than just sitting there at the bottom. Okay, we have this spell card here, which is really difficult to like understand. It's not the most difficult once you understand it. It's called Bind Snake, come on. And the vertical lasers will like turn 90 degrees inwards towards the center at random points on the axis. And before it makes the turn, it will collapse into a single point, and you need to use that sort of collapsed time to find a space to dodge. And sometimes you can get trapped in, and you can only move left and right, and sometimes you have to hope that you're not squeezed in. Oh my, right there at the very end.
You've been breathing? Wow. I'm mesmerized by this.
I try.
Amazing.
That is also a skill you need to practice, is breathing. I've tried my best. And here we have Machine Gun Spark. And again, we're doing, you just do Master Spark stuff. And here we have Sakuya with Changeling Magic. And Sakuya will do the deal thing and throw knives while time is stopped. But in this case, she throws the knives at herself, and then you swap places with her. And the best no-item strategy here is to actually stay as close as possible to you, because when those knives move away, the center where the knives were ends up being where the gap is always going to be. And it does make it a lot trickier, but at first, but you don't want the knives going all over the screen. Anyway, we have 7-7 with Yomu, Hacking Slashes, and Hell in Paradise. Man, I love the names of Yomu spell cards. It goes between like these vertical slashes and the horizontal slashes. And you really need to be careful with the vertical slashes because they can go really far to the side, which is why you see Misume just going way off to the side whenever those vertical slashes happen. Alright, we have 78 here with Sanai with a green snake, come on, and it's 6 big green snakes that move around randomly and slowly. Personally, this was the first thing that I didn't cleared, because I didn't see how items really helped me that much here. Well, it's kind of a weird spell card, but even if you're speedrunning, it's still pretty random and you can die to it, especially with you're trying to face shoot her and she'll just move right in front of you. And here we have just regular bullets. this isn't a spell card, this is just regular bullet hell. And so there's this kind of a story, and you have these event scenes. They actually did a little trick there to restart the stage, because there's like a second before she talks, and if you restart, you skip that. Alright, so we have 8-2 here with Reimu using a spell card called Rule Violation Barrier. This is also really hard, because while the bullets are smaller than they seem, you still have to like weave in between all of these individually. And you have to do that, because right here, Reimu will target these spread shots all over, and it's easy to dodge when you're in the center. The problem is getting into the center and making sure you're not making sure you actually went all through all of these squeezed little card things. And that was very well. Very well done. And now we have Monzo here. And the spell card name to this is like a Japanese joke, so it doesn't translate well. But yeah, we have animal bullets, and they're actually pretty big. The hitbox to them is as it actually looks, so they're pretty big. Alright, now here we have another one of the top 10 difficulty ones, which is called like Little People's Hell. And it makes it feel like you're really big, even though, like, when you first saw this, it looks like you were really small. That hitbox feels really small, but now you feel really big. And here you just have to dodge. And there's actually this little trick you can do with the movement, where if you move diagonally, you actually move less in either the in any of the cardinal directions. It's kind of like the whole hypotenuse of a triangle thing to reduce your speed. So that's a trick that you can do to move slower to get like that extra little finesse in your movement. Let's get through. Still halfway there. You can hear the sort of sound effects where once they... You can hear the sound effect of the bullets hitting the boss. Like, you could probably have already told that. Like, when you go a little bit higher, that's when you can hear that the boss is... And you can clench even harder. And that was like... Second, third try, that was really low.
Yeah, super impressive. Super impressive.
Alright, here we have a Persuasion Needle, and she'll move directly towards you and shoot these really fast needles. Thankfully, you can know exactly where they are, but she'll just shoot more orbs if she's shooting the needles as well. And that's kind of how this one works. And here we have another top 10 difficult. Oh, humans are nice. And it's a very not nice spell card, because the human bullets there are very big, and they move in very random directions, including some kind of random art. And you can't really read where they're moving very well, and it gets very dense. So a pretty good run right here. Oh my goodness. First try.
Yo.
Wow, that was impressive. And this is also impressive. He doesn't even consider this to be that one, which is insane. Look at how fast this moves. There's no randomness to it, which is kind of why it's not quote-unquote hard. But boy, do you really need to be good and have your eyes well adjusted in order to be able to dodge all this. yeah, I'm just always just so impressed by this. The fact that it looks so easy for him. Like, I don't get how easy that is for him. It's insane. Alright, we have run day 9 out of 10. And we have Kanako here with Rising Onbashira. And this used to be like one of the most difficult ones for no item clear until we found this strat where we just move really quick to actually dodge those French fry spread. Because if you try and go in between them, you're just kind of stuck into this double hallway that you can't control. But if you do it exactly this way, it's not as hard, but you know, everything in this is still really hard. Alright, 9-2, we have Jade Break, which is kind of a long one. It doesn't look that hard, but it gets hard. You have these large bullets, and the thing is, while you can do a lot of damage with the kind of face shooting thing, that's like your only way that you can do damage. And she'll periodically drift in a different place, and you need to have the timing correct so that she doesn't run into you. Oh, by the way, I love this one. It's called Ancient Shit, where Futo just goes on a boat. We get an extra bit of damage, and this is where spread shot's really good. We want to make sure we get under close voila, and speechless. That was so close. Holy cow. Okay, I need to be the one commentating here. So we have Suika here with called Imp Storm. So she makes all of these mini Suikas, and this would be really hard to do if it wasn't for the fact that when you actually destroyed the mini Suikas, it does damage to the main Suika. So with Spread Shot, it's not that bad. You need to make sure to hit the mini Suikas that have been there the longest, because they'll shoot more. And here is another one of those absolute hellspaces. Top 10 for difficulty. So again, it's very luck-based. Those red bullets that have explosions, they just move randomly. And sometimes that explosion that happens, you just won't have any place that you can be. It's gonna be first try. Wow. That was just lucky.
No way. No way.
That was very impressive as well. Yeah, and then we have Suoko here with Bloody Mound of Red Frogs. It's sort of this kind of streaming thing where you want to be close to one of the sort of flower things, because then you have the most amount of space to dodge, but you kind of want to go to the opposite end sometimes. It's kind of hard to explain. Alright, line 7. We have Futo with Blazing Dragon Veins. This is another one that Misume considers to be top 10, just because those red fireballs can't really. It's pretty luck based, and you just can't always see where the gaps are. But I actually think it's not that hard. He told me it was one of the hardest, but it's just, I don't know. Anyway, 9-8, the last spell card of day 9 is a Suika with 100 Onikaburo, which is pretty close to the other one, where you want to destroy the mini Suikas that have been there the longest, because they're the ones that shoot. And you also need to make sure to, dodge their shots when they shoot and you're right next to them. So it's a little bit tricky. Okay, so now we're going to the last day, and we're actually going to do it out of order. So there are 10 spell cards to the last day, and we're doing the 8th first. We're going 8, 9, 10, and then 1 through 7, just because that's the that's kind of the we have the really hard, we save the really hard ones for the last. Put it that way. And then this one, it's just very stamina based. The pickle stones or the keystones just tank so many of the shots. Okay. There is kind of this strategy, like if you were to do a task of this where you would do like the face shot on Tenshi all the time and go in between the gaps of the keystones, but it is really hard to do, especially since she's like constantly moving. Okay, got past that one. And that's like one of the easier ones for day 10. Okay, here we have a vampire game of tag. And you don't want to be tagged by her. If you get close to Ermelia, she will cause this explosion, and the explosions get bigger and bigger the more it happens, and usually what happens if you get to the explosion is just you're done. So you need to do this zigzag. You want to do a zigzag up and down. And the direction that the bullets end up moving, or kind of sort of that arc, is kind of random. Alright, so now we have the 10th spell of the 10th day, which is supposed to be the last one. And there's no trick to this. It's just raw dodging and raw bullets, and more get added. It ends up being, like, actually beautiful. It's called Casebook of Luck, Resilience, and Perseverance by Yukari. And this kind of matches the last spell of a lot of the Touhou games, where it really is just this long, pure dodging, no gimmicks, and you just have to survive and endure. So that's kind of what this is. In fact, I think it's kind of a copy of another one of the spell cards in the other games that she's in, but it's like a more difficult version. And just the fact that Mizume can do that, like, no problem, he doesn't even have to think about it, is crazy. It's such a testament how good he is. Alright, so now we're going to 10-1 of the alchemy. With Finding Walls Bahari, where all of these lasers are in set patterns, and the jelly beans are aimed at you, so there's no actual randomness if you just follow the same pattern, you can get it. The difficulty here is memorizing the pattern, which is actually pretty difficult. It is not intuitive how the patterns of the lasers. Alright, 10-2, we have Miko with spell card called My Way is That of the Heavens. Or I am the way. There's no good translation. It's actually like a super endurance heavy spell card. I think it has the most HP out of all of the spell cards. If I'm correct, I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. The bullets are actually pretty fast. And making sure you get those dodges with good reaction time is actually more difficult than this. And then you need to make sure that you're going in between those sort of sun lasers, which if you're not paying attention can hit you. Alright, here we have Tenshi with one that's kind of hard to translate well. It's like it's like Sky of Scarlet Perception of all yokai kind. It's Zen Yokai no Kisto 10. And there's actually there's a Touhou fighting game called Hiso Tensoku, and it's actually just known as Hiso Tensoku in English. And then yokai is also a Japanese term, which is kind of like the demons. But yeah, you have this aim laser that's going on the bottom of the screen and actually targets you. And you really don't want that laser to go to the top. And the laser will move pretty fast. It has an actual pretty fast speed to it if you try and stay far away from it. So you sort of need to like not move that much and onto the side of the laser. And because that kind of restricts your movement, it makes this so difficult because like the bullets get super dense and just keeps getting more and more dense. Yeah, you really want to avoid the laser hitting the top and having all the bullets splash all over the place. Just want to keep them towards the bottom as much as possible. Because that's just kind of where most of the space is. Alright. Can I get this? Stay out quite a while. All of the day 10 spell cards have like this huge endurance aspect to it. Couldn't even get that much damage in that because the bullets. Oh, got it. So 10-4, this is the infamous spell card that makes it feel like this is actual, like this category is actually impossible. And the fact that you can do this is insane. Alright, so at the very beginning, you want to maximize your damage. And then there's this 12-second nightmare, which starts right now, and it's actually hard to get into that. But yeah, you want to maximize your damage against these random bullets. You need to take risks here. And yeah, this is the spell card that people probably want to see most if they know this game. But yeah, the fact of the matter is you need to take risks at the very beginning here. And getting that transition into the insane part is pretty difficult because you can kind of get locked out. Okay, we're in. Just look at it. "12 seconds. And Remilia wants to be, you want to have Remilia at like below 50%. So the second time that she does that 12-second nightmare, because she's in a different position, you can't do the same thing. So technically those bullets are static. And by the way, that dodge is harder than it looks because you have to do this sort of oval shape using digital inputs. And you have to be very precise.
That's harder than it looks, you say?
Yes. That's what's so insane about it.
Wow.
Okay, and we have 10-5. Yukari with Impossible Danmaku Barrier. These bullets, this one is one where the bullets are so tight. It has the tightest squeeze that you need to do out of every spell card. And is he gonna like get this so quickly? This is one of the hardest ones. And you really like the pattern has a reset here. You really want to get it before the second pattern starts again, because that second pattern is really hard. Wow. I couldn't even explain it. I couldn't even explain the whole thing, and he just went right through it as if it was nothing. And it's so hard. I wanted to explain how hard it was, and I couldn't because he just went past it. Anyway, there's more to come. There's a few more left. 2 more left, and we have a 10-6 Byakuran Eyes of Brahma. The lasers are the same every time. So again, the difficulty here is remembering where the lasers are. It's so hard to remember that. But like if you know where the lasers are going to be, you know where the save spots are ahead of time, you can just do it. But yeah, at this point, you still need to have concentration. This is kind of the breather before the actual final boss. Here it is. Has a weird name to it. The 17 Arctic Constitution bombs. Everything here has a luck aspect to it. The boss moves all over the place. The bombs that shoot the lasers are random. They go to like this random spot on the bottom. You have the sort of hard bullets that are also random. Like the lasers make it so that trying to find a safe spot is really hard because that sort of curviness to it. And to actually survive, you need to stay on the top of the stage. So you have like only a little bit of time where you can do damage. And if you're trying to maximize damage, holy cow, that was punched right there, just looking at it for a bit. So if you want to maximize damage, you want to play this more risky, and thinking about playing this more risky is... Oh, that didn't count, because there's like this little bit of time right after you beat the boss where you can still get hit. And that is such a heartbreaker. Ugh. Like, that would have been so good. So insane if you get it that quick. Like, I hyped this up to be the true final boss, and like, this really is the true final boss. Like that 12-second nightmare, or Fitful Nightmare that you saw, that's not the final boss. This is the final boss. Like, he's getting pretty far, like, consistently. I'm just incredibly impressed. Like, it's making me be speechless.
Yeah, everybody in the crowd start popping off for this. The culmination of an hour of sheer amazingness nonstop. Let's hear y'all, everybody, if you appreciate it. Let's go. And of course, I can't forget you amazing donors out there. Now, full disclosure, me and Pajamas tried to work out some donation breaks. Pajamas was like, oh, this is going to be a spot where we'll have time. No, Nismi's going to be doing first try in these all the time. This is ridiculous how well he is playing today, as you can see. But we have ourselves, let's see, Kakefume with $25 saying, Touhou fan of over 11 years. So glad to see it in full glory in GDQ. Yeah, we are seeing it happen, and it is amazing. Thank you so much.
The fact that Miko is so low, it makes it harder to actually get more damage, and it's really annoying, right? Like, he's taking a risk. Another heartbreaker. Yeah, he kind of needed to take a risk there because Miko was so low that you couldn't really get damage in effectively.
If I may, we have $25 from Kamaje saying, loving this super difficult looking Touhou run by Sumisu Mitene. Also looking forward to seeing N++ get destroyed later. Let's get that hard level showcase unlocked. Yeah, still moving, still alive. Currently at $4,500 out of the $7,500 needed. Less than $3,000 away. But we don't have enough time, so everybody keep those donations coming in for N++ in the donation incentives when you send them in. Thank you so much, everybody. Let's go.
Miko is still in an okay spot, but still kind of taking risks. Oh, okay, that was lucky. Still like a about halfway to go still. It was so long. This is so mentally taxing.
Chat, crowd, give Musume your energy. Let's see it. Let's hear it. Come on. Come on.
Oh, it's such a heartbreaker.
Ah.
Getting to the very end. He had it. Oh. And like he tried to stay safe there. Instead of taking risk at the very end. He still got hit. So like even if you try to play risky or try to play safe, there is no safe.
That is the most
safe.
That's the most perfect encapsulation of Domnoko I've ever heard. There is no safe. Whew.
Ooh.
You've got ourselves a $10 anonymous donation. It says, this is my first time seeing Touhou at GDQ and I am in awe. You and me and the entire planet all. Thank you for your generosity and your contribution towards Médecins Sans Frontières.
Surprised you can read the donations and not be speechless.
All right, we got let's see. Got $25 from Sentinel, seeing big Touhou fan, ready to see Impossible Spell card get turned upside down, and also bouncing at the thought of winning those Fumos too. Yes, you see there that how absolutely mighty that both Reimu and Marissa are. Don't you want those Fumo plushies in your house, protecting you from all these particles on the screen? Get your 25 donations in, and again, put them towards meeting N++. Let's get it in, people. Let's do it.
That was time.
Whew.
So good. That is so insane. And I think he's going to show off, like, yeah, at the very end there. Number 70. The ultimate life. You beat this without being... The fact that you can do this without being items, that... Like, so... Like, I would love you to... I'd love you to tell me that you became the ultimate cheating life for Zuma Maker said. Okay. Go ahead, Misume.
Okay. Sorry, but I did not run very well. However, this will be a very good experience and memory for me. Impossible Spell Card is a fun game with a good level of difficulty when played with items. It is also available on Steam, so please give it a try. I would like to express our sincere thanks to pinkpajamas, operational staff, and all of the audience. Thank you.
Thank you too, Misume.
Misume, thank you so much for that incredible mystifying showcase. I feel like I could finally breathe again. Oh, wow. Lots of love came in during that Touhou run. Pretty amazing. We got ourselves $100 from Mabro saying I absolutely could not miss this Touhou run, which is why I find myself in meetings right now, trying to dodge suspicious looks while watching GDQ like a Danmaku. Ganbate, Misumi-san. And yes, thank you again so much, Misume, for that Subadashi run. Amazing. All right, everyone. And hey, we got some serious fun setting up for the next run when we return. So don't go too far away. Summer Games Done Quick 2023 will be right back. Hey, and welcome back, everyone, to Summer Games Done Quick 2023, raising money in support of Médecins Sans Frontières. We are currently setting up a mod to punch his way through Shatterhand and a little bit truly underrated classic of the NES library, which y'all are going to enjoy. But this gives me a bit of an opportunity to read a few of these donations that came in during Touhou. Lots of love for Musume, completely warranted, an amazing run. We got ourselves Aegis Star with $50, saying this Touhou run is too impressive to not donate. Truly, that is certainly a mood. And we actually did have someone who actually not face rolled, but elbow rolled his keyboard in incredulity during that run. We have King Seamus with a $25 donation saying, here's a message from my elbows. Good morrow, friends. I hope this message finds you well. Give my best regard to the runner. Sendeth this donation to N++. Yours truly, King Seamus's elbow. Thank you, King Seamus. Your elbows are pretty amazing. We're less than $2,500 away from getting that hard level showcase in for N++. Y'all are going to make some very happy individuals out of both Pepsi and Zando. Their synergy during this showcase is going to be amazing to watch by itself. and then we add the hard levels on top of that. It's going to be some good stuff, my friends. Well worth the price of admission. And Plus Plus is now on the lines. Get cooking, chefs. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. And now, a brief word from one of our sponsors.
Listen, all you speedrunners, to the tale of Yeti the Blue. He traveled through the 7 realms, across land and sea, through the harshest storms to fulfill his quest. To summon a new event team for Summer Games Done Quick 2023. And he has one more trick up his sleeve.
Games Done Quick is also proudly sponsored this event by PM Studios. Hey, we have ourselves a sponsor message from PM Studios. They say, looking forward to more brilliant runs and memorable moments this year. Best of luck, runners. And to all the indie fans in the crowd, yeah, they know who they're talking to. Come see the PM Studios lineup featuring our hottest indie demos. We got a bunch of URLs here. Let's go and knock them down. bit.ly, that's bit.ly/EPC-Steam. bit.ly/exophobia-steam, bit.ly/let's school, LETS school-steam. And hey, join the PM Studios Discord at discord.dg/PM Studios. Thank you so much, PM Studios. Y'all are great. All right, everyone. And now it is time for an interview where Jacobs is going to be sitting down with some of our incredible staff, Worm and Test Runner.